Welcome, everyone, to Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game. I'm your host, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, Medicare Advantage and Cancer, Part 5 in our series on Medicare supplement and drug plans with author, speaker, and nationally recognized Medicare expert, Sylvia Gordon. Sylvia, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Sylvia, we're talking about kind of a special, we kind of niched this out for this segment because this is a major issue to me. We talked about earlier DNA testing now, predominantly 8 cancers, maybe 10 cancers. But when we're talking about Advantage, and maybe this is the disadvantage of Advantage, right, is when we're talking about cancer. Walk me through again, just to make sure we're all up to speed on the Advantage plan and how it may or may not be a play on the cancer issue.
So with the Medicare Advantage plan, you don't have a big deductible, an upfront deductible like you're used to when you were working and you were under 65. People understand, especially with ACA, they might have a $5,000 deductible, $10,000 deductible, and they're scared of that because they got to pay that all out of pocket before their insurance ever kicks in. Med Advantage is the opposite. You pay all your little co-pays, and when they add up to your maximum out of pocket, which might be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, then you don't pay anything else for the rest of the year. So people think, ooh, that's a lot of money, that I might have to pay $7,000. But how likely is it that you'll actually have to pay that $7,000? Mm-hmm. And it's less than 10% of people ever hit that maximum out of pocket every year. So most people are not hitting that, but it is your maximum risk. Now, if you get cancer, you could get thyroid cancer, which is, I hate to say it, easy cancer, a simple cancer, a high cure rate, but that's not likely to make you hit your maximum out of pocket. If you get breast cancer and you have to have the biopsy and chemo and full radiation and reconstructive surgery, you're going to hit your maximum out of pocket on your Med Advantage. But people think right away that they're going to hit that maximum every year, and most people don't hit it. Mm-hmm. Cancer usually hits it, but not always.
So do Advantage plans have a maximum that you'll pay out of pocket, period, all in?
That's called your maximum out of pocket. Mm-hmm. And if you have a PPO plan, there'll be a maximum. So it could be, I've seen between $2,000 and $6,000. And if you go out of the network, it would be $10,000. Mm-hmm. So that's the most you could pay in a calendar year, mm-hmm. no matter what. Mm-hmm. So you could have cancer, heart transplant, amputate. Once you hit that maximum, you don't pay another dime the rest of the year.
But it doesn't matter even if it's for cancer.
You don't pay for anything. Doctor visits, therapy, you're done for the rest of the year.
Okay, now so I'm suggesting that if I'm reading the internet right, and who knows if all the things I'm reading are true, it seems though that cancer is the only real issue that seems to make people a little afraid of using Medicare Advantage. Right.
I had a client last year. They were on their Medicare Advantage and they were in their trial right period. Mm-hmm. So we talked about that in an earlier video. They had a chance to get out of it and go back to their Medicare supplement. And they said, my wife just got diagnosed with Parkinson's. We got to get out. And I said, well, I can take you back. You can go back to your more expensive Medicare supplement, and theirs cost about $400 a month. I said, but just wait, because it's unlikely that there would be a financial benefit to go back to your Medicare supplement. Don't be afraid of being on Medicare Advantage just because that is there, mm-hmm. that maximum out of pocket. I said, how often did her doctor want to see her? And he said, twice a year. I said, okay, mm-hmm. She doesn't need surgery for Parkinson's. I said, she's unlikely to hit her maximum. I mean, I didn't want to mm-hmm. say it's impossible because other things could happen, but her Parkinson's wasn't going to trigger mm-hmm. a maximum out of pocket. And so therefore, when I laid it out for him, the reason you moved to Med Advantage was mm-hmm. to save money because you were spending so much you couldn't afford your Medicare mm-hmm. supplement. I can take you back. Do you want to go? And after he calmed down, he said, you're right, we don't want to go. Mm-hmm. So cancer, like I said, full-blown expensive cancer where you have the full treatments of chemo and radiation, you're going to max out your policy, whatever that is. Mm.
Can I ask you this? Is that really the trade-off here, Sylvia? My Advantage plan, let's say in this state where we record today, Arizona, there are no premiums for many of the people that play there. So if their number says their max is $4,300 for mom, $4,300 for dad, that their total all out, if they both got cancer, is going to be $8,600. Is that true?
Well, you never look at them mom and dad. Look at them as an individual person. So if that policy that they have, the maximum out of pocket is $4,500. That probably in network. So as long as they stay in network for all their care, once they hit that amount, they don't pay anything else for the rest of the year. Right.
So that's kind of the trade-off. You're thinking in your worst scenario, you might be obligated to $4,500 a year to the day you die if you stay on Advantage. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, don't say to the day you die, because Medicare Advantage plans do change every year.
Their premiums or their
everything
their
can,
maximum limits?
Yeah, so the maximum limit could go up or could go down. The premium could go up or could go down. You're buying a calendar year plan. The one thing that I don't think people understand, because people, they'll say, well, $4,500, that's a good deal, versus what I was paying for an expensive Medicare supplement here, like I said, which could have been $350 a month.
Right.
So that was fixed. No matter what, I was going to pay that $4,000 a year, versus over here, that's only if I got cancer. So the thing I want to point out is that your Medicare Advantage plan is a calendar year plan. So what if you get cancer in November, December? You're going to hit your maximum out of pocket. January, you start over. So January, you're in a new maximum. So you said, well, my maximum out of pocket was only $4,500. Yeah, but you were in cancer treatments over a 2-year period, so you would have to pay that twice. You could hit it both years. So if you're going to get cancer in January.
I'll try to be up to speed on my biology. Okay, so what I like about when you say about advantages is that some people are going to make that quantitative analysis. You know, if I'm paying, I think you said one of those plans, F plan, was the top of the line. You might be paying $400 as an individual. You're $4,800 already in, and my top expense load, my maximum on my Advantage plan is $45.
Right.
So I'm not. That's no incentive for me to look at this, right?
Right.
I mean, is that true?
Right. Well, I mean, you just want to, everybody's got to sit down, and everyone's an individual. You're completely different than your spouse. You know, you're where you see the doctors you want to see, how active you are, the amount of drugs you take, and what are your genes? Do you have a really good family history, or do you have a bad family history? Have you smoked for 20 years? You know this. So insurance is all about risk, and how much do you want to risk? The richer you are, the less you have to risk. You know, I have a couple people that come in every year that said, just give me the best thing that you have. I don't care how expensive it is. Sign me up and get me out of here as soon as possible. Most people don't say that. Most people say, let's look at this. What is it going to cost me? And really dig down into this, and we manage it year in and year out, because it will change. Your health does change, and the plans do change.
Well, Sylvia, I want to thank you for coming on our show and talking about Medicare supplements and all these things we're talking about, these plans. I mean, I said it's an alphabet soup. I don't know if I can keep it straight. And keep in mind, before moving forward, anything that Sylvia's been talking about, you need to talk to Sylvia or one of her, what I like to call Sylvia-approved agents that actually know what we're talking about, so they can service you well. Also, don't forget, you need to check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or any financial advisor before you move forward with anything we're talking about. And remember, you've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.